The maximum amount that in today's environment that you can borrow is around about 95%. It's called a loan to value ratio. The loan is 95% of the value of the property.
Yep.
Right. Broadly speaking, we're around about 5%. So across the country, 5% of the purchase price are purchase costs.
Okay.
Now in New South Wales, it's slightly higher. So you'll need to do your due diligence around what your purchase costs would be. But in this case, I'd say let's go for, let's keep it random or average. Let's keep it at 5%, yeah?
Yep.
If you've got a 95% lend as possible, which means you're going to need a 5% deposit and a 5% closing cost, purchase cost, yeah? Therefore, your $20,000 represents about 10% of the buy price. You can afford to buy something for $200,000. Yeah? So that is the maximum price that you can spend on a property. Yeah? So I know your skills, construction, building, happy to get hands dirty and get active in it. What are your sorts of sets of skills? Where do you find confidence in?
In terms of building?
Oh, no. In terms of
just
In life in general.
Yeah.
Fashion.
Fashion? I'm not seeing a lot of relatability, but that's
So
okay.
in general.
Yeah.
I'm good with kids, but in terms of, I guess, what you're looking for, I have an eye for detail. So when I say fashion, I mean that does sort of relate to
Right, the interior design,
design.
what people might like.
So
the target
colours and
market.
stuff like
Yep,
that.
Good, colour coordination, yes.
So I'm good with those sorts of things.
Fantastic.
And also, I suppose, research and not so much crunching numbers, but
Right.
my dad comes into play there. So
Right.
I've got an asset up my sleeve.
Yep.
But yeah, I suppose research would be my biggest strength in terms of this because, I'm studying psychology and education.
Right.
So,
So studying psychology, are you good with people?
yeah, fantastic with people.
Property's going to work well for you because
Yeah.
property is not about bricks and mortar.
No.
It's about
Exactly
people.
right.
There's also already some role occurring here, yeah? We're talking some synergy stuff happening where you're going to do stuff, you're going to do stuff, and together it pops out with a
Gonna
beautiful
work,
outcome.
hopefully.
Right. Hopefully. If you're looking for a cosmetic renovation, the time requirement is relatively high. Yeah, it requires you to manage, be on the ground, see the trades, do that sort of stuff. So there's going to be an investment of time if you're going to do that sort of a strategy. I'm hearing that you're okay with that. In fact, looking forward to it. Yeah. The time frame for one of those projects is around about 6 months settlement to settlement. I'll go through shortly.
Yeah.
Right. Structural renovations are bigger. Yeah, they require council permits, they require council intervention, they require different ways of making happen. Yeah, so you need to be mindful of structural renovations and the limitations that can occur through, say, owner builder structural renovations. Yeah, be mindful of that. Subdivisions themselves are not particularly time intensive.
Yeah.
Subdivisions you engage a land surveyor for. Yeah. So you're actually outsourcing much of the work. The two groups of people that make subdivisions work are your land surveyor and the council. And you make some phone calls and you just make stuff happen. So that's really a desk coordination type thing. So you're far less hands-on. Yeah. That's a way forward. Construction, again, you can do construction two ways. You can do it either custom build, meaning I'm looking to design a house, you engage an architect or a draftsperson, they draw what you want, you build it, custom build. Or you go a project homes company. If you go for a project homes company, then they know how many nails they need, they know how many sticks of wood they need. I want the rancher, and you just buy the rancher and it just gets built on your block of land for you. Yep. So it's a very low time requirement, low involvement strategy. They also have the plans and permits already in place for these things, and they just pick up cookie cutter approach, submit to council, can I build here? Yes, no problem, off you go. Whereas a custom build requires more intervention. They're generally easier to do by way of time, skill and requirement. What I'm hearing though is that that's not necessarily what you want to be either.
No.
Right. So in time, I would think, as you get your building licence, as you skill up, construction might be a way for you to go forward. Yeah? All right. The last one then is riding waves of growth. So riding waves of growth is being able to read the market, work the market, know what the market is going to do, buy in the right market, ride the wave of growth, and sell at the back end while there's a growth environment. Yep. All right. The time requirement for that is all up front. It is all about research, analysis, getting the details right, the buying the right house, knowing the target market. Yeah. That's where your skills, Phoebe, would probably work best. All right.
Yeah.
I would suggest that a great starting point as an idea might be buying in an area that's going to go up and doing a cosmetic reno on it to resell into the market when the market's hotter. Am I right in hearing that the cosmetic and in a wave of growth would actually sing for what you're looking to achieve?
I think so.
Does that resonate for you?
Yeah.
Gels?
Yeah.
All right, great. So your role then, now we're starting to drill down into what to do and how to make this happen.
Yes.
Your role would be the search, the area search, the area analysis, the making it happen, the finding the right property. From a location and growth perspective, your role then is to take the properties and the areas that are put forward to find the house that's got the greatest potential for add value. Yeah? Can you see how then by divide and conquer, we can solve this problem and get the best possible outcome?
Yes.
Yeah? All right.